safe, ethical, environmentally friendly, and socially responsible manner. Now, GOIL has 3 subsidiaries. You have the GOIL Energy Company Limited, the GOIL Offshore Ghana Limited, and GOIL Financial Services Limited. What are the products and services offered by GOIL? We have the GOIL card. We also have the liquid petroleum gas, fuel retailing, lubricants, and aviation. Now, with this, considering the strength of GOIL, GOIL has a strength of diversification in that it doesn't only focus on the traditional petroleum products, but has gone on to focus on marine gas and other aviation fuel. And in 2015, it was responsible. In 2019, the marine gas and aviation fuel was responsible for GOIL's high performance, and we are going to see that later. And GOIL subsidiaries such as the GOIL Energy Company Limited and the GOIL Offshore. GOIL Energy Company Limited is a BDC, which is a bulk. It's a BDC, which is a bulk distribution company, whilst GOIL Offshore Ghana Limited is an upstream oil company, meaning that GOIL has broadened its shores not only to the downstream industry, but also entered into the upstream industry. Now, the industry analysis. The global consumption of petroleum and liquid fuels is forecasted to average 97.5 million barrels per day for all of 2021, which is 5.1 million barrels per day increase from 2020. It is also forecasted to increase by 3.3 million barrels per day in 2022, which means that the demand for petroleum goods in Ghana is going to increase. According to the National Petroleum Authority, a total of 1.0 million metric tons of petroleum products was supplied onto the market in the third quarter of 2021. This represents a 5% increase from the third quarter of 2020, with aviation turbine kerosene having the highest percentage from 2020. The petroleum products imported also increased by 1% from the third quarter of 2020. Here we can see a growing demand in the use of petroleum products in Ghana. Now, looking at the top 4 oil marketing companies in Ghana, we have GOIL leading with 15%, followed by Vivo and Total, its competitor on the stock exchange, and then Zen. So from here you can see that GOIL has the largest market share. The combined market share of the 4 OMCs was 38%, and the rest of the OMCs had a combined market share of 62% for 2021. That's the third quarter now analysis. The total assets of GOIL, we can see that it has increased steadily from 2017 up to the third quarter of 2021. And looking at their net profit after tax, we can see that it increased from 2017 up to 2019. Then it decreased in 2020, but has started increasing again in 2021. The increase in 2019 was mainly due to the sale of aviation fuel and then the marine oil gas. Now we can see the decrease, which is also due to the impact of COVID-19. Due to the lockdown from March, most vehicles were not working, most cars were not on the road, so the demand for fuel went down. So that amounts for the net profits decrease. But we can see it's rising in 2021. Now, profitability. The 5-year trend of return on equity. We can see that from 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. We can see total increasing up to 2018 and then decrease up to 2019, decrease at 2020, and then it's still decreasing at 2021. That's the third quarter now. And then GOIL was steady at 2018, increased at 2019, decreased at 2020, and then was steady a little at 2021. This increase from 2018 to 2019 is mainly due to the sale of the aviation fuel. This wasn't from the sale of traditional petroleum products such as diesel and gasoline, but it was mainly due to the sale of marine oil gas and then the aviation petroleum fuel. And then the decrease is mainly due to the impact of COVID-19 due to the lockdown. and then we can see it became a little steady from 2020 till now, the third quarter of 2021. Now let's look at the return on assets. We can see that the return on assets for Total increased from 2017 up to 2021, up to 2020, and then became steady at 2021. But that of GOIL has increased to 2020, 2019, decreased at 2020, and then decreased further in 2021. Now just looking at this, one will say, why not go for Total instead of going for GOIL? Yes, so I'm going to answer that question. Total currently has a total number of service stations of 200, over 200, while GOIL has a total number of service stations of over 400. GOIL increased its number of service stations from 2019 to 2020 from 314 to 410. So that's a great margin of increase in fuel stations. But why do we still see a decreased return on assets? GOIL has, in 2020, due to the COVID-19, though they invested more in bringing up service stations, but these service stations were not able to bring up their return because of the lockdown. Most vehicles were not on the road, so the expected return from those stations were not achieved. That's why we see the drop. But then we see it has become a little steady at 2021. So we expect it to grow again in coming years. Now looking at the market ratios, let's also use this to look at their return on so let's go for it. Looking at their market ratios, we can see the earnings yield of GOIL. We can see that from this 5-year period, so from 2017 to 2018, it's decreased, but then there was a huge rise in 2019, and then it's decreased again in 2020, and then a little further in 2021. Their dividend yield also has been increasing, and then the increase from 2017 to 2021 is seen as 67%, which is a 67% increase in dividend yield. Even though the dividend per share of GOIL is currently 0.045 Ghana cedis, and that of Total is currently 2.4 Ghana cedis. We can see that GOIL has a steady increase in the dividend yield growth. So in the coming years, we are going to see an increase of 67% of the dividend yield of GOIL. Now let's look at their liquidity ratios. We can see that their liquidity has been stable until 2020, where it's decreased in 2021. That's the third quarter of 2021. And this is mainly due to the impact of COVID-19. GOIL puts a lot of measures in operations to be able to mitigate the effects of the COVID on the nation. So as such, it puts more money into operations and then less into paying off its debt. Now looking at the evaluation. At the beginning of the year, GOIL traded at an amount of 1 cedi 50 pesos, and currently is trading at an amount of 1 cedi 80 pesos. Just from yesterday to today, it has increased again and is trading as 1 cedi 82 pesos. Whilst Total has maintained its position, has even dropped in value. So we can see that even the people on the market see a greater see it to be more profitable to invest in GOIL as compared to Total. There's a more demand for the shares of GOIL as compared to Total now. Now looking at their PE ratio, we can see that it's increased from 2017 to 2018, but decrease in 2019 has been steady increasing up to now in 2021. So that means that the amount of time it will take, more investors think that GOIL, most of the investors think that GOIL is good to be bought at a price of 13.49. Now let's look at their competitive advantage. GOIL has received the Oil Marketing Company of the Year for 3 consecutive years as compared to its competitors. It's also received the Dealer of the Year by its Bema Camp station as in the Oil Gas Awards 2019. Yes. The company has spread its wings throughout the whole nation. It has a lot of service stations, that's over 400. And GOIL is currently having 150 bulk consumer outlets spread across the country. Now, what are some threats to GOIL? GOIL delivers products to schools, industries, people who use the fuel. So if even the mining industry, if anything affects these industries, it's going to affect GOIL because it's not going to be able to give out to its consumers. An investment risk in investing in GOIL is the transitioning to clean energy. Nowadays, you can see the emergence of electric cars. So the threat is also that in coming years, there's going to be a huge number of electric cars, and there will be a shift from fuel into electricity during usage of cars. So in that sense, GOIL can use that to, it has subsidiaries moving into the upstream. So GOIL can also move into the clean energy sector, to broaden its wings to adjust for future trends. So in conclusion, I recommend a buy for the stocks of GOIL because of its good financial position, efficient management, and greater room for improvement and growth of the company. I call on value investors to invest in GOIL. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doro.